Hello and welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news for you, and the headline reads: Igbo Assembly dares Buhari, asks him to do the impossible to meet Allah group. But before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. The President Muhammad Buhari has been urged to declare Marudin Herdsmen and the Miyetti Allah Cattle Bearers Association of Nigeria (MACBAN) as a terrorist group. The plea and the mandate came made by the Igbo National Stakeholders Assembly, that's the Igbo National Stakeholders Assembly (INSA), during its enlarged meeting in Lagos, gathered that the group condemned the alleged failure of the National Assembly to procure utility vehicles from the Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company. A communique by INSA, that's the National Stakeholders Assembly, Igbo National Stakeholders Assembly, that's INSA now. President General Uche John listed other issues discussed at the meeting to include actualization of the Nigerian president of Igbo extraction in 2023, the spat of insecurity in the country, as well as the mind-boggling rate of corruption in Nigeria and Igbo land in particular. INSA, however, urged senators to take a second look at the proposal before them from the indigenous auto manufacturing company. As lawmakers, they should lead by example and not to close our borders and mandate Nigerians to eat local rice only for them to turn down locally manufactured cars. In consonance with the border closure, a law to mandate National Assembly, State House of Assembly, all federal state ministries and agencies, include all political office holders, to use made in Nigeria cars and products. If this is not done, it means that Nigerians' law are made only for the poor, and the border closure is not meant to boost our economy, but targeted at Igbo importers. The meeting resolved that President Muhammad Buhari should sack all security chiefs as their tenure has expired, and for failing to justify taxpayers' money wasted to pay their salaries and huge security allocations, they said. All right, that's the news. You have heard what INSA said. INSA, that's the Igbo National Stakeholders Assembly. They are quite. They've been in existence, but they're not as popular as those other groups, because they're also, most of the time, they're always not, making their renowned statements popular via media outreaches. But gradually, they're getting recognition. But they've asked for the impossible. If you ask me, telling the presidency to proscribe the Miyetti Allah group, that's the Cattle Bearers Association. I'm talking about MACBAN, which is the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. It's almost impossible to say. In fact, I call it daring, because I don't see President Muhammad Buhari proscribing a profession he came out from before becoming a president, and with a profession which he will go back to after leaving the presidential seat, if if there is life, because everything all depends on life. You can make promises about tomorrow. It's the Lord that gives life. If after making promises and making arrangement for tomorrow, you don't get to see the tomorrow, the Almighty God have done what He knows best. He has the final say. But yet, I don't see him doing that, because several times that number, Miyetti Allah Group, MACBAN, have severally made some very indicting statements against Nigerians, have said some words that are very divisive in nature. They have shown ethnicity in every ramification, and they've shown religious bigotry in all forms of life, and yet not even a condemnation from any quarter. So just fairly recently, the Anambra youth saw some of these Miyetti Allah groups. I'm talking about the Fulani herdsmen carrying some weapons. I'm talking about AK-47. 4 of them carrying like 6 AK-47. They were accosted. The police were there. They couldn't do anything. There was no arrest. Nothing was done. And the Miyetti Allah leader in Anambra State, as at that day, told point blank to the leadership of Anambra community in that stakeholders meeting in the presence of the security personnel that were there, that these guys are carrying what they are carrying to protect themselves in case of any exigency, in case of any emergency. They don't want to be caught unawares. But these are the things that Nigerians will say. The security of Nigeria will say, you don't carry such weapons up, and they must be licensed, they must be this, it must be that, and you must not carry it anyhow. But these are the people who are carrying it, and in presence of the security agencies and officials, and they couldn't do anything. And it clearly shows a lot. The other time they arrested the traditional leaders of a particular community in Anambra State, all still on the issue of cows, and that they lost over 108 cows for that reason. In front of where they were having a meeting with the governor Obiano, they picked them up. Governor Obiano, after so much deliberation and all that, decided to, let me go and release my traditional rulers. Yes, this we have issues, but somehow we'll mediate and see how we can, let all warring hands share their swords. Let's see how we can let's see how peace will reign in the community. To his ultimate surprise, when he got down to the station, they told him, sorry, we don't take orders from you. The order has to come from Abuja. That's to tell you that these guys are senior citizens. And if they're senior citizens, they almost have the same equation with the presidency. So how would you tell the presidency to prescribe himself? Is it done anywhere? Please, let's be practical here. Let's leave sentiment. Let's leave rule of law and look at what is practical in Nigeria. Rule of law is rule of law. What is attainable and acceptable is what is obtainable. What is we are saying in Nigeria. Rule of law may say this, but what is happening in Nigeria is what we are saying. Is it possible for the presidency to prescribe himself? Where is it done anywhere? You can't prescribe yourself. What did it take the presidency? What did it take the government of the day to prescribe IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra? It didn't take them 48 hours. It was done. Sharp law. Everything was put in place. Bam. Their name became a tag. They prescribed people of Biafra. What did they do? They didn't even kill. They didn't do nothing. But they were prescribed within 48 hours. But this is the same Fulani herdsmen that everywhere, in fact, in the world ranking, they have ranked Fulani herdsmen at the fourth dangerous terrorist group in the world. Already, making impact in Africa. But yet, as we speak, we are told to be our brother's keeper. At the other time, the president even went as far as saying that anytime you see such things, banditry and other happening, don't go and defend yourself. Don't go and fight back and revenge and retaliate. Hand them over to police. Who is the chief of staff? Who is the head of the security chiefs? Who are the head of security chiefs? Who are those manning up security agencies? They are still the North. And yet you're saying that if these same Northerners or Fulanis, do something, not just Northern Fulanis, if these Northern Fulanis do crimes that are not, that are against the laws of the land, we should hand them over to the police, and the next day we will not get to hear anything about them. And that's why you see them, they speak, make some insightful statements, and nothing is being done. Yes, another thing they mentioned is the issue of using indigenous cars. I keep saying that. I said that several times. I'll still say it again. That there's nothing wrong with us using innocent cars. If we can eat local man rice, why can't we take innocent car? Why are we still doing what we are doing? Why are we where we are today? It's because of ethnicity. I said this before and I'll say it again. If it was Dangote that was producing these cars, won't it have been mandatory for all senators and politicians to be using it? Please, let's not be doing this to our economy. And like what they have rightly said, if these guys are still not giving this car, if these guys, as I'm talking about the politicians and the hierarchy, political elect, if they refuse to use innocent cars or cars manufactured in Nigeria, it clearly shows that the laws and the border closure is strictly meant for the poor masses. And just maybe, one of the highest importers in Nigeria that we have, and one of the highest importers we have in Nigeria, actually the Ndigbos. In the Ndigbos, in the sense that they are large-scale businessmen. So if you tell them don't import anything, you are greatly affecting the economy. You're impacting negatively in the economy, because They know how to do business. They know what to. They go out there. They know what to import. They know what Nigerians need per time, and they know how to go about it. Telling them, okay, don't import, and they decide to go local. Then what is wrong with also patronizing an Igbo man too, who's also an indigenous producer? If you can do that to those who produce rice and the rest, why can't you do the same to those who produce? We have mentioned this over and over again. But let's be truthful to ourselves. The level of ethnic division in Nigeria is heightening. The fact that INSA is demanding that the president should prescribe himself is as if they are not seeing handwriting on the wall. Because if you tell me, prescribe me Itiala, Macban, you're telling presidency, prescribe me and my future activity, prescribe me and my past. It's not done. He's not going to live on that seat forever. So if you prescribe his own brothers, after this whole tenure, he'll still go back to his brothers and they'll say, you prescribed us as a group that is not worthy to be among the feet. One is even insisting that Nigeria should not even arrest them. If he can release the Boko boys and give them amnesty, not just give them amnesty, and still give them foreign education, and IDP camp is increasing, people have lost their wives, their children, nothing has happened, but Boko boys have been given not just amnesty, and been given a turnaround. Now, if you want to travel abroad, one Nigerian was saying something that's very unique. He said, look, in Nigeria, you're looking for vacancies, stop it. Go join the Boko boys. Do the needful. Do the people, harm the people you need to harm, cause a lot of mayhem. Then go back, repent. Say you have repented from your sins. They will give you amnesty. They will also give you visa to travel abroad for scholarship. And you still get a job into the Nigerian army. These are sharp ways. But then the question is, can't you see that we are running? Nigeria is being run on the lines of religious and ethnic bigotry. Have you now seen? How come that Sowore did not do half of what? Sowore did not even do anything. When it comes to terrorism and all that. In fact, he was asking for good governance. He was declared that what he was doing was tantamount to breaking the nation. He gave him so many big technical names that God help. Even the fact that he asked for revolution, even though it was revolution without ammunition, they gave him so many names that you'd be like, what's going on? This man a terrorist, that they should be giving him such a name. What has he done? The fact that he was pictured with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that was it. They said he was even man that was seen, talking to a terrorist. You now ask the question, who is a terrorist? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Who has he killed? What do we know by the word terrorist? These are the things we're talking about. Dividing the lines of the country, dividing the country on the lines of ethnicity and religiousness is what has gotten Nigeria to where it is, and we may not go far. These are the same guys who do not like Western education. These are the same guys that are giving Western education to on scholarship after they have done so much harm to Nigerians. And this is where we are today. So, the fact that after all these things they have mentioned, I'm talking about the INSA, the Ndigbo people, the Ndigbo assembly, the new ones that have been formed, after talking all this beautiful statement they've made, and they are now asking for presidency 2023, so that the likes of David Mahi of the Ebonyi State governor, the likes of Willie Obiano, and all the southeastern governors who have kept quiet over the issue of regional security, and now these ones are now agitating. I'm talking about the Igbo assembly, and now saying that they're not talking about the issue of presidency 2023, and now encouraging this Southeastern Governors Forum to keep quiet over the regional policing, the regional security aspect, so that they can be picked, in favor book, to be in favor book of the government of the day, so that they can be picked for 2023. I can tell you, if one fraction is talking about presidency and another fraction talking about Biafra, I feel they should, whatever group that is coming up, should line up and face one mandate. If you hear the voice and the pulse of the people, you know that they're talking about Biafra. So why not follow up and say, look, this issue of security, because I keep saying this and I'll say it one more time, the fact that if this security outfit is not being put in place before the actualization of Biafra, there may not be any Biafra man to actualize. Yes, because if they continue in this rate, killing, maiming, raping, invading the southeastern land and all that, and no one is talking, and using the issue of Fulanis rearing cattle to come into Igbo lands and beginning to destroy land property and killing the people. By the time the Biafra will eventually come, there may not even be Igbo men in the Biafran land to actualize. You may even be seeing a mixture of Fulanis already taking part of the land. Then what will you actualize? Are you actualizing the land or the people? This is what we are talking about. They should speak in one voice, in one accord. I feel that they're asking for the right things, but practically speaking, they're asking for the impossible. What's your take? Do you think really that the presidency will look at Makban, the Cattle Breeders Association, and proscribe them, or do you